To look back on a game like that without being hugely disappointed, it's impossible. We didn't deserve to lose that game. Pretty even. First half, I thought the Blades were really quite good, probably better than Leeds. Second half, admittedly, like Sander Berge, the whole team tired, and that was a shame because I thought it was the best performance of the season so far. And really, a win for the Blades or a draw would have been absolutely fair. You can see, of course, if you're a Leeds fan, you could look at it another way and say, oh, well, we would also have felt like a draw or a Leeds win was fair. And I can see both sides because it really was at times such an even game. Patrick Bamford losing his marker, Jack Robinson, and scoring, and it was a fantastic goal, really well-worked move. But the Blades without two really key defenders, Egan and O'Connell. Looks like O'Connell's going to be out for a long time. I'm not so sure Jack Robinson can actually fill that void throughout the rest of the season, and it won't cost us. So disappointing. I thought Jack Robinson actually had a pretty good game, but he did lose Bamford, and that's simple as that. That's what cost us. We lost 1-0 because of that. He also missed a really good chance at the other end. Admittedly, that's not his job, but he's still a professional footballer, and a ball coming off your foot shouldn't be too difficult. So that was disappointing. Over the piece, I was really impressed, though. Felt like Burke looked like a threat whenever he went forward. A little bit wayward in his decision-making, but that'll come. Only a few times he's actually played up front in his career, and certainly only twice with David McGoldrick, and never for that length of time before. So it was a bit of a new, patched-up Blades side, and I was pleased with the performance overall. Sander Berge, definitely man of the match. Ben Osborne, always loved seeing him in there, also performed very well, and just such a shame that John Lundstrom couldn't get that goal. He needs it, and the team needs it. But one thing I will say, looking ahead to the fixtures in October, which are extremely difficult, the Blades in adversity sometimes pull out shock results. So I'm actually quite excited looking at these fixtures because it's a free hit, if you will. No one's expecting us to get anything in some of these games. So let's see what happens. If there's one man that can get us firing, it's Chris Wilder.
Well, I suppose we should start with the positives. We didn't get anybody sent off in the first 15 minutes this time, and we didn't concede 2 goals in the first 6 minutes. So we have that going for us. But we're 270 minutes without a goal, according to the commentators over here in the States. We've got 1 goal in the last something like 600 minutes of league play, which was Lunny against Southampton in a meaningless last game of the season. And we are lacking firepower. McGoldrick and Billy are pushing 35. McBurney is not living up to his £20 million price tag. Burke has pace and a good pass on him, but he still hasn't scored. And it's not time to hit the panic button, but it's time to hit the checkbook button, I think, and figure out what we're going to do to solve that problem and get some pace at the top of the pitch. Really, Leeds didn't look like the side that had just been promoted. We sat back. We had something like 35% possession against them. And they have flair, and we just don't have flair unless we caught him a bit on the counter. You can't really fault Lunny too much for the keeper saving the shot in the first half. I mean, it was a world-class save. I thought Baldock played well down the right. Again, forced a good save from the keeper. But we're picking out bits now. We're picking out flashes and saying, oh, well, that was good and that was good. But we also let Leeds have 65, 70% possession, and ultimately they were able to undo us at the death. I think Billy was a bit careless with the ball. Sander was probably fouled in the build-up. Sander got his back turned to the play in the build-up as well and allowed them to push in and then spread the ball out wide for the cross. On an overall basis, if you compare it relative to the Wolves and Villa game, I thought we were a much improved side. We were compact. We kept Leeds at bay. But then you think about the matches we've got to come, and people or teams are going to be much more clinical than Leeds were, and they're going to have even more flair than Leeds have, and they're going to be able to undo us. So I just think we need to find the money. I don't know if it's Brewster. I don't know if it's anybody else that maybe we don't know about that's hidden on the radar. I certainly don't think Daniel Sturridge is going to pull up any trees at this level anymore, but if we can get him on a cheap deal, then bring him in. But we just have to find a way to consolidate, to score goals. And we're going to have to scrap. We're going to have to scrap this season, and we're going to have to look at finishing 14th, 15th, 16th and have that be a success story. and keep us in the league and then push on. But it's not going to be some revolutionary 9th place finish this year, I don't think. So tough times, but all we can do is band together and keep on going. I will say, for all the stick Lundstrom's taken, again, another good performance from him. He runs tirelessly. He got in a great position for that shot. The yellow he picked up was a great yellow in terms of a professional foul, stopping the Leeds counterattack, so no complaints there. So I'm ready to stop hearing all the stick about John Lundstrom. But we've got work to do as a team. So now it's up to Wilder, it's up to Bettis, it's up to the Prince to get the right people in and kick on. And one last thought, and that's just first Yorkshire derby in the Premier League since 2001, first match against Leeds in the Premier League since 1994. And to have that in an empty stadium just really drives home how much Sheffield United are missing the fans at Bramall Lane, but how much football in general is missing the fans there, because it just doesn't have the same energy or bounce or life to it. And the more matches I see, the more depressing that fact becomes. But on to the next one, just an easy one next week. It's just Arsenal away, so should be an easy 3 points, and then we'll kick on and book our Champions League places, right? So cheers from Tampa Bay. Hope everybody has a good rest of the weekend. Up the Blades.
So Chris Wilder's wait for his 100th win as Blades boss continues again after a bit of a snatch and grab by Leeds. Absolute sickener, really. Good game for the neutrals, though. Very good game to watch. Even goalless. Two teams that are very exciting to watch, play really nicely, and look like they should be in the Premier League. As a team, I think we seem to be back to what was more like our usual best play. I loved our one-touch passing. Seems like when we have more time on the ball, we have to think about it. Sometimes we make the wrong decision, but actually some of our one-touch little triangles in the match were fantastic. Good play down both channels again, was nice to see. But also down the middle, Ampadu, very creative, was quite nice, marauding forward. Individuals, Rammers with some very good saves, hopefully quieting down some of his critics, kept us in it. Osborne going to the starting lineup, which I think was well deserved, absolutely full of energy, epitomised how we play, constant pressure on the team, chasing them down, really good match for him, he looked absolutely knackered at the end. Ampadu, as I said, very solid but also creative, which I think is going to stand us in good stead, because with O'Connell out and Robinson seemingly to be more defensive than creative, it was quite good to see Ampadu marauding forward and giving us a bit of a creative spark that Egan didn't really give us. Burke shows some glimpses of some real quality as well. Berger, it's funny because we've been told by Wilder that he's the sort of long-term replacement for Norwood in the middle, but actually, how good is he at right midfield? He seems to play so much better down there. Baldock, very good game, got his shooting boots on, but also a bit hot-headed, has avoided being sent off again for a possible second yellow. But yeah, excellent game from him though. I'm not criticising him for that. He's a great game, got his shooting boots on, as I say. And as a team, just seem to be shooting more, which is quite interesting. We know the way we play, we don't shoot until the XG is really good. We're getting a really good position, but we seem to be shooting quite a lot in the match, which is quite nice to see. With some good stats from that. But we need that striker. Taking McGoldrick and Burke off, McBurney and Sharp doesn't work for me. Sharp in particular is legend, absolute legend for us, but at this point in his career, he's not changing games for us. He's not a super sub. We need that striker. And from what I gather, that striker will be here next week, which we're desperate for. So hopefully that'll make a difference. For me, it's 3 losses. It's not 7 or whatever it is from carrying for the previous season. We could have scored if it wasn't for their keeper having an absolute blinder of a match. We've got a bad run of fixtures coming up, but based on the performance in that game, I'm not too worried. Is Fulham a must-win? No, in terms of our season, but I think yes, in terms of getting us through that hump with those difficult fixtures coming up. But I think with the way we played in the match, a bit more back to usual selves, plus a striker, I think it stands us in good stead. So keep the faith, Blades, and we move on to Fulham. Go on the Blades.
Well, I predicted 1-1 for this one, and 1-1 is probably what it should have been. Disappointing to lose that one. Lundstrom really should have scored. I thought we adapted well with the changes that were made. It was, a game of missed chances. Goalkeepers played well. I thought Ramsdale played very well. Was it a foul on Berger leading up to the goal? Questions may be asked on that. Was it a penalty first half? Again, must say that I've seen them give him. Overall, I think a draw was about right. Disappointing sucker punch for Leeds. Nicked it 1-0. But they won 1-0 at Bramall Lane a couple of seasons ago. Look how that ended for the Blades. So hopefully, big games to come, we can move on and get a lot better. Man of the match for the Blades today, for me, I thought was Sanderberg. Absolutely tremendous in midfield and driving forward. Onwards and upwards, a few easy games to come. Keep fighting, Blades. I'm sure we'll be fine.
So I'll be doing my mini review of Sheffield United versus Leeds United. It's ended 1-0 to the away side Leeds United, nicking it late on in the 88th minute with Patrick Bamford heading it into the back of the net. Ramsdale could have got to it, but unfortunately, no, he didn't. But Ramsdale had an outstanding game today, in my opinion. Even though he conceded a goal late on, I think he was my man of the match. He played absolutely outstanding today. But I do think we need to sign a new striker, because we do need one pretty badly. We've been interested in Brewster for some time now, and we still haven't put a deal through, if that makes sense. But yeah, I do think we need a striker pretty badly. Today was a very good performance. We dominated most of the game. Leeds United, like I said, nicking it late on with Patrick Bamford. But yeah, I do think we really deserved to win today, but unfortunately it didn't come our way, losing 1-0.
Hey Blades fans, Robert here with another match reaction. I don't know what feels worse, losing 1-0 to Leeds in the 88th minute, knowing that we played a really, really good game, losing our first 3 games, not scoring any goals, knowing that our next 5 games, we have to play 4 of the top 6, or that Jack O'Connell might be out for the rest of the season. Or when you lump that all together, it really just doesn't paint a good picture. Today's game, while probably our best game that we've played so far this year, definitely feels the worst coming out of. I've sat here for probably 45 minutes just staring at the scoreline, staring at the stats, just wondering how we're going to ever win a game this year. We had so many good chances this game. Lundstrom with the pass from McGoldrick just picks the wrong corner and the goalkeeper gets down. Jack Robinson and Ollie McBurney on that same corner towards the end. McBurney missing the header, Robinson just putting it wide. It feels like we're never going to get a goal. There's so many good chances. This game especially, I feel like we played the exact game plan that we wanted to. We let Leeds have possession. We got him on the counter. You know, Burke with his speed, McGoldrick with his hold-up play and passing it out wide to the wing-backs. Everything was going according to plan. And then 88th minute, Jack Harrison, probably the most space he had all game. The only time I don't think that George Baldock was in his face as he went to cross the ball, and Bamford got up between our defenders and puts it where Ramsdale can't get it. Like I said, it feels the worst of the 3 results so far. Yet I think looking at the stats, looking at how we played, our shape, the fact that we were in a game past the first 15 minutes, this was definitely our best performance. So there's some glimmer of hope there. Definitely losing Jack O'Connell for probably the whole season is not going to help. Jack Robinson, I thought was okay. Again, he missed a goal, a shot towards the end of the game. He, I think, was one of the 2 marking Bamford at the end. So should he have been a bit better in clearing that cross in? If Jack Robinson's the replacement, or if Ampadu steps up, I thought Ampadu was really good going forward. So there's potential for him to step up in Jack O'Connell's place. So defense, we've got to figure something out there moving forward. I think Ramsdale is going to be a great goalie. I think we actually saw it today. He had 7 saves. He looked solid. The 1 goal that went in, again, another one of those he can't do anything about. He's moving the other direction to block the header, to block the cross that's coming in, and Bamford puts it right by him to the other corner. So there's nothing Ramsdale can do. So I feel confident with Ramsdale now after watching his performance in this game. But yeah, looking at these stats, it's just, I don't know where the goals are going to come from. So hopefully Sheffield can figure it out. Again, we've got Arsenal next and we've got Fulham. Fulham is a must-win game. If we lose against Fulham, there needs to be some serious changes in personnel, and I don't know what, but that's a must-win game for us this season. The other 4 of our next 5, we just got to put a good showing. We know we can beat these teams. We've beaten Arsenal. We've beaten Chelsea. We've taken the game to these other guys last season, so we need to do that again this season. So hoping for some better performances. Again, it does not look good right now. So hopefully before the transfer window closes, we can get a striker in. Somebody up front to put it in the back of the net. But yeah, so good luck, guys, and stay good.
Look at that ping from Norwood. Makes other teams look no good. Yeah. We've got a team full of leaders. Alan Hill, Chris Wilder taught us. Right. Yeah, there was us on the tour bus. Yeah. No count many goals, Billy scored us. It's beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. We are the boys from Shore.